Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Triple Jump podcast. It's a video game podcast. My name is Peter.
And my name is Ashton.
Oh my gosh, it feels very strange.
Where is he?
Having to remember all of Ben's lines.
I know.
See, when you do 128 episodes of something like this...
And you've never had to say it.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say was, from Ben's point of view, when you've done it, like, he probably doesn't even have to think about what he's saying. Like, because I've got my own things that I say, particularly towards the end of the podcast, and, they kind of come out, like... I mean, I do actually do them differently every time, but I still at least know where I'm going. But now we've got to just try and remember the script.
And also, we've not got Ben to kind of make sure that we're not being complete.
Well, there's that as well, just giggling like school children. Yeah. So I don't know.
Exactly.
We'll have to just see how it goes today.
Yeah.
But I am the understudy seemingly for Ben Potter.
Yeah.
So if ever there's a day where neither Ben or I are in, you'll have to just sit here on your own.
On my own and just talk for like an hour and a half.
And know all of the words.
Yeah.
So you best get learning.
TripleJump podcast. It's a video game podcast where we talk about video games.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'd say, I'm Ashton, and then I'd wait patiently for any other people to say their name, and then there would be none. So then I would just go, I don't know what the next bit is.
Yeah, you could just talk to yourself about not knowing what the next bit is. Well, I'll tell you what the next bit is.
Okay.
This is a video game podcast that we do all the time here at Triple Jump. And we're sponsored each and every week by a very definitely real sponsor.
Yeah.
I've got the ad read this week. This week we are sponsored by Trivago. You know, the hotel company?
Trivago.
Ben Potter just got a free sample as part of the brand deal, and he's just gone.
He's gone off.
It doesn't seem to be video game related. It's just Ben's in a hotel this week. So Trivago.
I don't think he is in a hotel though.
Well, no, he's not, is he? But because it's a lie for one thing. It's not a real sponsor.
We're not actually sponsored by Hotel Trivago.
We're not. I just wanted to have this nice fantasy of Ben sitting on a beach drinking out of a coconut or something. But I think he's just with friends playing Time Splitters somewhere.
Yeah, just that. So. The only any info we've got from him is on Twitter, where it's just one picture of the same telly with different games on it, just having a great time.
He's just on the same chair for a week with the same telly. That's not real. It's not real at all.
We're not actually sponsored by
we established
Hotel Trivago.
Very quickly that wasn't a real one. That was one of the fastest ones we've ever done.
I didn't know if you were going to say, well, his aunt actually owns Trivago.
Well, she might do.
He's at his aunt's house, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Maybe. Auntie Trivago.
Auntie Trivago.
Right. But what we do have is actually a real sponsor in the shape of TripleJump.gg.
Hello everyone! As well as our extremely real and totally not fictitious in any way sponsor, we're officially partnered with PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo to sell their codes through our own website, TripleJump.gg.
Here you can get everything from topping up your digital wallets to PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Game Pass and Nintendo Switch Online subscriptions, as well as Minecraft Mine Coins. Mine Coins, they'll be your coins any minute.
Nice one, Peter.
Oh, thanks very much.
It's 100% legitimate, directly supports us and provides you with the delightful digital currencies you're going to buy anyway. Visit TripleJump.gg to browse our full stock.
TripleJump.gg. This is a real sponsor.
Lovely.
That sounds right, boy.
Yeah.
I just really like the song. I think it's fun.
It's pretty good. Is that at the end of I don't know if that's at the end of the podcast one, though.
It was last week.
Oh, was it? Yeah, because James uses that now, but he's been making a new one, which it may have actually just been featured. I don't know if he might want to wait till next week for when Ben's back to get the third green light on it. But I've seen it. It's very swish.
I haven't seen it.
So we'll have to see which one goes out in this episode.
Yeah.
So
I might have just quoted an old ad.
Yeah, maybe.
But if you want to listen to it, just listen to last week's podcast and then you can hear it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
We also have a kind of other sponsor, don't we?
Exactly right, yeah.
With our pals over at Patreon, TripleJump Patreon. What's it called?
TripleJump.com /Patreon. No, it's not that. It's well, in fact, you can get there that way as well,
yeah,
can't you?
I think so.
No, patreon.com/Team TripleJump is what
that's
we're
what we were
about.
trying to say.
Yeah.
And they submit the questions if you're a Patreon. I don't know what the thing is that Ben normally says.
For as little as $1 a month.
You get access to the podcast question post, and you can ask us questions for us to answer on the podcast.
Just like Cameron Keywood. Who says, "Hello, Benless Jumpers. I was wondering if you have any gaming confessions to make, such as deleting a sibling/partner's save or selling a game without permission or anything else similar."
Have you been a naughty boy before?
I have on many occasions. I must say, having reread, I've read this question several times now because I gathered the questions and also, made notes for my own answers.
Yeah.
So I've read this more than once, but I've just noticed the /partners. To me, I've got a list of things here that I did that were pretty juvenile when I was, 13 or something.
Yeah, mine was when I was like a kid.
Right, but the idea of someone deleting their partner's save files, that's really petty.
That is pretty petty, yeah.
Jeez, imagine doing that at whatever age you have to be to officially have a partner. 18, 21, I don't know. Adult, yeah.
Old enough that your brain's probably fully formed.
Yeah. And you should know better.
Yeah. What would you do if Amy deleted one of your saves on purpose? How would you feel?
For one thing, I'd be really shocked because that's just not the kind of thing she would do. But
no,
I don't know. I think I'd ask her is everything okay? Why did you do that? That's a really childish thing to do.
Yeah.
Just like it was when I used to fall out with my siblings, and one of the things that was a kind of instant "I hate you, I'm going to get you," was to delete each of the save files. Everything from, actual kind of adventure games or whatever, where there's progression through a narrative. But even are you aware of the game in quotation marks called Dance EJ?
No.
It was a PC game that was a music making thing.
Right.
But it wasn't really intense.
Kind of like GarageBand kind of thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't kind of what would you call it? Industrial level software. It was kind of aimed at younger people. Right. So that's why you would probably class it as a game rather than proper synthesizing software. But that was quite popular with not just we had a copy of it and we all liked it, me and my siblings, but even just within my circle, there were kids at school who all had it, and we all used to just make Dance EJ remixes and stuff. And I remember once me and my sister really were pissed off with my older brother for some reason, and so what we did was we went on Dance EJ. And we there was a bit where you could record, going into it, so you could do a sick rap or whatever, which we didn't do.
You did a sick rap over your brother's country music track.
Yeah, we could have done a diss track maybe.
Yeah, the original diss track.
No, but we didn't even do that. What we did was we just made a file. We saved a song that was called something like "Watch This." John is not his name, but I don't want to dox my brother. But
brother John.
Yeah, listen to this song, John. And when you open it and play it, it was just a single track of recorded dialogue where me and my sister had just gone, "Ha ha, John, we've deleted all of your files on Dance EJ. Ha 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 ha." That was it. It was just us. There was no music. I don't think we didn't add any sick rhythm to it. It was just
shouting into the
microphone.
Got him.
I don't even know
John.
if we did actually delete the files, but that's certainly what
you just wanted that moment of
this, John.
They've deleted all my files.
Exactly.
That was what we were hoping for.
There've also been times where if we were really pissed off with each other, we'd switch a console off at the wall, by the plug.
Yeah,
especially if it was it's my turn. Mum says it's my turn, and they wouldn't move. But also. Similar actually to the Dance EJ thing, I also had a couple of games when I was younger that to some extent or other allowed you to animate and make little films and stuff.
Right.
We did an Art Attack one on Vidiots.
Oh,
years
I
ago,
think I've seen that one.
And I had that one. And I would also do that in a kind of petty way where I would make my siblings and just do videos where they get I don't think it was anything too graphic, but maybe they were just like run over by a horse or something like that. Not like they weren't strung up and tortured. That would be, I probably would have needed to go and see someone.
Horse-related accident.
Yeah, you have to just use whatever presets are there. So you go to the Wild West category, grab the donkey or something, and just stomp it all over a very crudely drawn PNG of my siblings.
And they're like, "What is that? It's you.
That's meant to be. They're like, what? It doesn't look like. Why have you done an animation of yourself getting run over by a donkey?
It's not me. It's
not me. I'm going to delete all your files on Dan CJ.
Ha, John.
Ha, John. Got you. So that's the kind of creative, inventive kind of petty gaming stuff that I would do.
I don't think I had anything quite that creative and violent. I think one time I went on to like the me maker thing, and I changed the way my sister's me looked because she'd really bothered me. I like proper made it look really ugly, and then when she went on, she was like, "What's happened? Why is my name under this horrible me?" And I was like, just what you look like.
That's just you.
I just figured I want to make yours more realistic.
Just like, that's no different to what it's always looked like, isn't it?
So they got written on about that. Accidentally, I dropped. So I went around to friends and they had like wooden flooring, and I dropped their disc version of the game Viva Pinata down the floorboards.
Oh no, down the floorboards. I thought you were going to say it just got scratched.
No, into the floorboards, never to be seen again.
Oh no.
Yeah, I felt a bit bad, but also they wouldn't let me take it home and play it. So maybe I didn't do it on accident. I just remember throwing it down
serves you right.
But I think we did the things like turning the console off at the wall or just walking over and pressing the like power button as they were playing. But my sister was quite a lot younger. Well, she's 2.5 years younger than me. So a lot of the times I'd be playing a game that she didn't understand. She'd be like, I want to play this. Like, you can't. You don't understand it. You're just going to ruin it.
Yeah.
And occasionally I did do the trick where you give them a controller that isn't like attached or plugged in, and then you're playing and they're like, why isn't it going left? And I'm like, why? I wonder why. The controller's just broken, as I say, as I play to my right, to play the game. But yeah, I've never done anything to my partner's saves or anything.
Me neither.
I don't think. Not on purpose, anyway. Might have closed a game that he'd left running when he hadn't saved it yet. But other than that, that's his fault, not my fault.
We used to have this thing as well with my siblings where we would say, I'm going to wipe your memory card, which was not like to manually go in and delete a load of saves, but like we had it in our heads that if you pull the memory card out while the console is running, it could delete all the saves, which I think like it could certainly do that. When it says do not remove memory card, like when it's reading it and stuff, I think like that can actually corrupt your save files. But I believe that actually if you pull a memory card, you can like plug memory cards in and out on like an old PS1 in the middle of gameplay, and it's probably okay as long as it's not like autosave features and stuff. So we thought that like this was a thing, and you might like run in while they're playing the console and go ha and pull it out, but I don't think it really ever cleared the memory card because that's not really how it works.
It was just that moment of panic where you went to reach for it. Like, no. I think my sister had a game on her DS that I really wanted, but she would never let me play it. She was one of those kids when she was younger where it's like, if it was hers, it was hers. Yeah. But if it was yours, it was hers.
Right.
So it was like, she wanted it, and if she wanted it, she was going to get it. But you weren't allowed to play any of her games. She's a bit like that now, to be fair, with Switch games. I'd be like, well, you're not playing on the Switch. Can I? She's like, no, you can't. I'm like, you're 20 years old. Come on now. Let me play on your Switch. But she had I can't remember what game it was, but she wouldn't let me play it. So I went into her room. I got the little cartridge out of the box, put the box neatly back on her shelf, walked out, and I think I put it in the garden, and I just like left it in some mud.
Oh no.
And then she was like, I can't find my game. Just like my game anywhere. And I was like, wonder where it is. I guess you should let me play it next time, huh?
Oh, wow.
And then she went outside, like, I think it was like a summer day, so it wasn't going to get wet or anything. And she was like, why is Nintendo in the flower pot? And I was like, don't know.
How could that have happened?
Maybe it's a sign that you should let me play it more.
It's just karma.
Yeah.
The sort of the karma fairy came and put it in the mud outside.
In the mud. Yeah. I don't know if it broke it, but she was not happy. She was a crier when she was younger as well, so I'm pretty sure she cried.
Okay.
And I was just like, hee.
I've just remembered something that my sister would have to confess if she was on here, because this isn't something I did. It was kind of a really strange thing, but I think she was only about 5 at the time. And we had a copy of A Bug's Life for the PS1, which is a game I've streamed a long time ago, actually. Yeah. And there's a level on that where you're going through the tunnels inside the anthill. It's level 2, I think. And throughout the game, Flick will just say stuff just as you're walking along. You know, you go, fresh air and stuff, which is kind of strange. But in the tunnels, there was this line that he would say where what he's actually saying is, iridescent lighting. I like it. And because there's these like glowing mushrooms that light the tunnel. But the quality wasn't very good on the console itself, and also probably the TV that we had. So all we could really hear was, "She doesn't like this. I like it." So my sister used to say that what he was saying is, like, I don't like it or something. Yeah. Right. That was her interpretation of that line. And that game actually technically belonged to her in that sense. And she said that if you're playing the game and Flick says, I don't like it, you have to turn it off. So that used to happen all the time. We'd be like, I really hope he doesn't say that line about I don't like it.
Never get past the level because he just keeps saying it.
Yeah. So that was a really weird one. Well, that almost turned into a big discussion. It sounds like we could go on for a long time.
Just talking about how annoying we were as children.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, from what we used to play and troll each other with as children, it's time to talk about what we're playing right now.
Right now.
In a section.
We've never done before. That's called What We Playin.
Oh.
It's What We Playin time.
It's What We Playin time. I'm used to Ben then saying, Peter, what we playing?
Peter, what are we playing?
Ashton, you go first. It's normally me, but
okay.
Ashton, what are you playing?
Live life on the edge. I've only played one game this week because I have been very hormonal. And when I'm hormonal, it makes me not want to do things because it makes me very annoyed. I tried to play Far Cry. I just got annoyed. I played like 10 minutes. I was like, I can't be bothered. And I've not really played a lot this week because I've also been kind of in and out of the house. But I played a game that I've been following on TikTok for a while. It's made by like one guy. And the guy I've been putting like updates on TikTok to be like, look what you can do in my game. And I was like, this game looks chill AF. It's called Omno. And it's on Xbox Game Pass at the moment, which is good because I was going to buy it anyway. Right. But it went on Xbox Game Pass. I was like, bonus. It's basically like, it's really chill, kind of like, I'd say like a mental refresh kind of game. Right. Where you're this little kind of, I won't say polygon, but not really, kid. And you're kind of wandering around. You've got a staff and you can do like, you can surf down hills and stuff and meet these mythical creatures. And there's like bits of lore to find around. And you've got to get like orbs and it's like level based. It's not a very long game, but it is really like chill. And I think I played it for most of Saturday before we had to go out.
Sounds
and
lovely.
It was really good. It proper was nice. It made my brain just go off and I played it for ages until I had to go and like do something productive, like clean the kitchen or something. Yeah. But yeah, I recommend it if you're looking for like a chill kind of memory wipe game. I fully suggest going and playing Omno. Omno, yeah.
Okay. So did you say you finished it now?
No, I haven't finished it yet. I played I think I did the first 3 or 4 levels. I don't know how much is left of the game. But yeah, it's really interesting.
Oh, nice. So is it, you might not know, but is it like a work in progress? So you say the guy's like still adding stuff.
Finished.
So right.
He's been like adding stuff and then it came out this month. Right. So I think he's just going like, look what you can meet this animal. We've added surfing into the game and he was like doing little updates. So like I've been seeing it for ages and I thought this game looks really cool. But I don't think he posted for a while and then I kind of lost him because on TikTok it's really hard to like find someone specific. If you don't know their specific handle. But then it appeared on Xbox Game Pass. I was like, I know that game. I've seen that game on TikTok. I explained to Ben that I've been like watching it on TikTok.
Ben Potter.
Ben Potter.
My partner, Ben.
Your partner, Ben.
Our working partner, Ben.
Yeah, Ben. That I've been watching it on TikTok. I was like, I've been watching gameplay on TikTok. And I was like, no, I haven't. I've just been watching this game get made. And he was like, on TikTok? And I was like, yes, Ben. It's a platform where people use now, social media platform.
It is.
Ben.
It might be Chinese spyware, but it's still a social media platform.
It's also a social media platform that is huge right now. So
Ben really hates TikTok. I think he hates TikTok partly because...
my Ben hates TikTok as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he doesn't like it partly because there are perhaps security issues with it, but also because he says his mum really likes it. And he's like, Mum, please stop using this this app. It's not good for you, for your phone.
Yeah. I'm just kind of like, what can they find out about me?
That's not already out there.
I am so boring.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, she goes home, she sits on the sofa and she plays Omno for 3 hours. And then she goes out briefly and then she comes back again and plays Borderlands.
I'll volunteer that information to the Chinese. I don't care.
Here you go. I will give you my daily schedule. It's nothing interesting.
Yeah.
Last night it was, got back to my Airbnb. I called my mum, I called my partner, and then I fell asleep at 10 o'clock.
Without having any dinner.
No, I forgot to have dinner.
Oh, that's bad.
I've not actually eaten since lunchtime yesterday, but
no.
Living life. I'm actually all right.
We can stop the podcast right now if you have
Give this
to.
woman a sandwich. What have you been playing, Peter Austin?
I played a little bit more Ratchet and Clank. I said, it was
the original or the movie remake.
The remake of the original, yeah,
the movie one.
Yeah, the movie one, but not the not Rift Apart.
Yeah.
But to be honest, as pretty as that game is, and as well written as it is, I think it's actually genuinely quite funny. I think they've done a good job.
I think so too.
I've sort of remembered as I've played more why I didn't follow up after the first game. So I played the original PS2 Ratchet and Clank. That one is a kind of a reimagining of, and it's reminded me why after playing the first one I didn't then seek out any of the sequels, which is that it's like a third-person shooter game, isn't it? Like more than anything else, it's not. You can get lulled into a false sense of security, or not security, but you can kind of think one thing when actually it's not the case, which is that it's Insomniac, which I associate most mostly with Spyro more than anything else. I know there's Spider-Man as well since then.
Yeah,
but I kind of think, Ratchet and Clank, it's one of those mascot-y kind of characters, and mascot characters usually are 3D platformers with a bit of action and combat in them, but not much. But actually, Ratchet and Clank is a third-person shooter game in a sense, and I find it a bit not repetitive, but there's just a lot of shooting in it, and it's not really in a way it's not for me. So, do
you think that's why you've struggled to get through it again?
Yeah, I think it is. Like I was just playing other games, and that it did make me think. Like this week, particularly when I was writing down what we play in, I was like, well, I have played Ratchet and Clank, but again, I didn't really play much of it. And I was like, why is that? Because I know I've got the time at this point. It's not that I'm distracted by anything else. Incidentally, there is one other game that I did play this week, but it wasn't taking time away from my Ratchet sessions. So I just thought, I think I just don't, I'm not loving it enough, Yeah. I still think it looks really good, especially for when it was made. And yeah, I think the writing's great. I like the characters. But I just don't like all the running and gunning, to be honest. So we'll have to see. I'm still going to give Rift Apart a go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to bother finishing the what is it, 2017 version, 2016. I think it's 2017. Yeah, I might not play it to the end now, but I'll give Rift Apart.
I do agree with what you said. I do get what you're saying. Like the story is really interesting, but I do like it is very much like you run into this room, you shoot this guy with this weapon or a different weapon, depending on trying to level something up or not. So I do get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I think Rift Apart isn't going to change that very much for you.
Yeah, from what I've seen,
like because it's going to be new, you might kind of enjoy a bit more than one you know the story of.
Exactly, because like this one's it's not surprising me that much. It is a bit different to the story of the first,
there is
but
a bit,
but I still know roughly where things are going, so I don't even have that to kind of pull me along and say, well, at least you'll find out what happens next. So, yeah, maybe so.
What else have you been playing?
But the other thing I played is a little bit more of Resident Evil Village.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I played that through when it came out within a few days, and as soon as I finished it, I wanted to play it again, but I knew that we would be streaming it and that I would mostly be in the hot seat. So I said, I'm not going to play it a second time on a personal run at home and also be playing it for a third time at the same time at work and on live streams. So I thought like I'll hang fire until I've had a bit of a breather from it. But just going around sort of mopping things up and trying to get a few of the in-game kind of achievement trophy things. I'm not a completionist. Everyone knows this. I don't go for platinums, but I just enjoyed that game that much that I just
didn't mind too much.
Just don't mind playing it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot that I didn't do in my first play because I finished it once, but I haven't gone back to it yet. I didn't like get I didn't do any of the food things. I don't think.
Right. Yeah.
And I've got a couple of the like golden chests, but not all of them that are around. But yeah, I mean, it's a good game. I enjoyed playing it. I think that I don't know if I'll go back and bother finishing it because I don't like to play games again. I like to play them like one time, and if I enjoy it, then I'll just be like, I've enjoyed it this one time, and I don't know if I quite fancy going back and playing through all again. But at least Resident Evil Village isn't very long.
No,
either,
it's not really. If you know what you're doing, you can actually do it within, probably a couple of evenings if you really do some long sessions. So, yeah. So that's mostly what I've been playing this week.
Fair.
We'll see next week whether I've played any Ratchet at all or whether I've finally given up on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But do you think you'll just go straight to Rift Apart now, or do you think you'll try and finish it?
I don't think I'll finish that game, but whether I stop playing that and immediately replace it with Rift Apart or just have a little, a bit more of a break, I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Find out next week on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, that's worth tuning in for alone, I think.
Will Peter Austin finally get to play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart?
It looks so good. It looks very pretty.
It is a good game.
All that ray tracing and stuff. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to give it a try.
Cool.
Time for question 2, Ashton.
Question 2 comes from Samuel Benson. A nice, easy one that you've given me to read. I like that. But you've also given me a long one later on. But what is the hardest part of working in video game journalism? I think the hardest part is explaining to your grandparents what you do for a job.
That is definitely the hardest part. I've thought of a couple of things, but that one didn't occur to me, and that's actually top of the list.
It's obviously I've like recently started this job, so when I like posted that I've got this job, my family were like, "What is it?
What is it that you do?
What exactly is your job?" And I was like, "Oh, it's like on the internet, like making videos and stuff." And they were like, "Oh, is that a real job?" I was like, yes, it's a job that I get paid for. It's a real job. Yeah. Yes, Nan.
I mean, I guess at least if you were, or if we were video game journalists in the sense of working for somewhere like IGN, that is a bit more like a journalist. And you could say, I'm a journalist. I think grandmas understand what journalists are.
Well, that's why I say, I was like, it's kind of like, I just say that's like journalism. And they're
it's like journalism,
okay. I get it. And I'm like, okay.
I say, for people who are very old, like kind of 70s or 80s, I say it's like TV, but it's on the internet.
Yeah.
For people who are a bit younger, I know that they know what YouTube is. So I say I do a gaming channel for YouTube. But when they ask like, what exactly do you cover? I don't necessarily want to say to people that age that like we do actually play games, partly play games for a living, which is the stereotype that people say, oh, you play games for a living, that must be easy. It's not, because that's mostly not what we actually do.
I haven't played many games since I started this job.
There's a lot of admin, a lot of recording, a lot of editing, a lot of just social media management and all sorts, like just looking after other people on the team and stuff. But I don't even want to admit that there's even a fragment of it that involves me just sitting and playing games to people who are maybe sort of, let's say, boomers. I want to use that term, but that kind of age group. Yeah. So with them, I tell them that it's just I cover video game news. I don't tell them that I play the games.
I like that.
I'm like, hey, if new games are coming out, we tell people like what they're like and when it's coming out and stuff. But that's a good one. I didn't think of that one. For me, it's that what was a hobby has become my job, so that I don't think it's probably gone unnoticed that on What We Playin, sometimes I say, oh yeah, I played a little bit of that this week, and that's kind of it. I think Ben still feels very much like when he goes home in the evening and plays games that he really enjoys it, and that's great. And I wish I felt that way too. But for me, I find that when I've been, admittedly, as we said, not playing games all day, but at least just being around them, talking about them, doing voiceover recordings about them, and all those sorts of things, sometimes it's the last thing I want to do.
Yeah.
And I think the wrestling guys have said the same on occasion, that like sometimes they don't want to go home and watch wrestling or think about wrestling because they do it all day. And that's a shame, but on the other hand, if you turn it the other way around, if your hobby becomes a job, then at least during the working day, you're doing something that you do actually enjoy.
Yeah.
It's just that when you get home in the evening, you probably don't want to do much more of it.
I think also with that as well, like things like for the podcast, I'm like, I haven't played anything this week. I should probably spend some time playing something so I've got something to talk about. But even if I don't really want to play a game or I've just not got the time, I'm like, I need to make the time to spend a couple of hours or an hour or so just playing a game so that I can be like, have something to talk about.
Definitely. There've been like a couple of weeks before where I've got to a sort of a Tuesday or a Wednesday and thought, oh my God, I've not played anything since, since apart from my streams. Like actually, I think earlier, way back at the start of when we were doing this podcast, some of my What We Playings would just be, I streamed Tomby this week or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was it, and outside of that, I'd not done anything. So that's the thing. You don't want it to be, you don't want something that used to be fun to become a bit of a chore or something that you have to tick off. But, as I say, on the other hand, your job is something that you enjoy. So that's a good thing. But the other thing that I thought of was just keeping things fresh, like, trying to make sure that the audience is entertained and the bills are being paid effectively. Like there's a constant pressure there to make sure that the channel is performing. And fortunately, we've not really had any issues with that. I mean, we keep an eye on individual shows and think maybe that's not performing as well as it should in terms of the work that we put into it. But broadly speaking, across the whole channel, we've never really had a point where we're like, oh God, like we're not making money, or it's bad news. But there's still a lot of micromanagement that you have to do to stop that ever happening, and so far we've managed to do that. But there is a constant pressure to think it's not as simple as I run a greengrocers and people are always going to want to buy apples. It's like I run a YouTube channel and people are always going to want to watch that kind of stuff on the internet, but specifically what will they want to watch? Because I need to know that and identify it and make that content rather than just buy some apples from the wholesalers. So those are mine. I don't know if you've got any more, or if there's stuff about because you've worked in esports for a bit as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, it was not really like much kind of like planning side of esports. I was just kind of turned up on the day and was like, what do you want me? What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I think that like I've only obviously done this job for like a month now. But I think one thing that I've noticed is it's kind of, you have to be a bit more aware of like everything that's happening. Obviously there's like so much happening in video games at any one time. Like in a given week, you've got maybe like 6 or 7 things that like have happened, and it's like if we don't know one of them, someone's going to be like, well, you didn't even know about this, so you can't be real even into video games. And it's like, we got to like keep up to date with a lot of it. But then even then, when you're trying to, suddenly something else happens like just before, and we're like, oh God.
Yeah, just before we start recording.
Idea.
Or just after we press stop and then the story breaks.
Yeah, or between recording the podcast and it being uploaded on Saturday, it's like something's happened and we haven't talked about it. But I think that's obviously one thing you got to keep in track of. But in terms of like when we worked in esports, it was very much like most of that was I just didn't know the game and I didn't really know what they were playing, like things like CSGO and Rainbow Six stuff. I have no idea. It doesn't make sense to me, and I have no idea what's going on. And they'd be like, oh, this is gonna happen, and I'm like, when will I know that happens? I need someone to tell me if that's happened, because I will not know.
Right.
And there'd also be things like I would never know how long a game was going to go on for. So it'd be like, there's 5 or 7 rounds or something, and I'd be like, is it the end now? And they're like, no, there's like 4 more rounds left. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's been going on for ages. What's going on? And I'd be sat there like, do I need to do something now, or can I sit down for I never knew what was going on. But I think that's the thing as well, is like if you don't know everything about every game, you kind of just have to wing it, because some games are so niche. Well, they're not niche, but unless you know how to play them, they're kind of like a world apart from like what you're actually used to doing.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's hard to sort of feel like you have to have a knowledge of lots of things when lots of things are very different from each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's the thing about us being in like the kind of middle ground as well of, we're not IGN, we're not GameSpot or Kotaku, where that is like a video gaming news outlet, and they have to be like on the button. In fact, sometimes they're breaking the stories,
Yeah.
But some people see us as though we are almost kind of in that sphere, and therefore if there are any gaps in our knowledge, or if we do just miss something or just don't bother covering something, that can come across like, oh, like a failing of some kind.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why didn't you do that? Or, why didn't you know about that? And, I think it's important for us and for the audience to know exactly where we consider ourselves to be placed on that like ladder, because we're not just like someone in their bedroom on YouTube playing just like a couple of games that they like and like not bothering with anything else, but equally we're not like a big like
full-time news channel.
Exactly, yeah. So we, I guess that's another difficult thing about working in, as it's in quotes in the question, video games journalism is that are we not? Yes, we are in some senses. Like we cover E3 and we do news in this podcast, but in other ways we're something less than that.
If anything, the Cultaholic lads are more journalism.
Yeah,
than we
exactly.
are, because they do like daily, sometimes twice daily news stories and things that are happening every day.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously a lot of our content is things that have happened or things that already exist that we're talking about, apart from obviously like the podcast and sometimes when we mention it during streams and stuff. But
or we're just playing worst games ever, or like wearing a stupid hat with purple and gold on it.
Yeah.
Which
or
is
cooking something horrible in the kitchen.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Like we're kind of straddling kind of on the fence, really, and that can actually be a difficult thing in terms of like managing expectations, I guess.
Yeah, video game journalism, but make it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Hopefully it's
sprinkle
it's
in some chaos, and then it'll be fine.
Well, I mean, one way you can make it fun, I think, journalism, is by covering strange things.
Things that are a bit peculiar, possibly.
Yes. Things that perhaps you might call it weird news.
It's weird news time. We found some weird news on the internet, possibly sent by you. We put posts out on Twitter and Facebook every week, and you can submit your weird news that you find on the internet about video games, and we might read them out on the podcast. I haven't done that this week. I just found my own weird news. But have you received a weird news from a fan or follower?
I found my own weird news too.
Okay, so we're really sorry if you submitted weird news this week. We went rogue. Ben's not here, so we went rogue.
I mean, actually, I didn't. I mean, so I just saw this story, so I've had that as my weird news for a while. Look at the way I'm typing into my phone, like what a granddad using my index finger. I've never done that before. I suddenly like saw myself. I was like, wow. Hi, I'm 70
Is this your
years
channel
old.
on the internet?
Yeah. What I was about to say was I brought a story that I just saw, so that was mine. But I've not checked the weird news post to see whether it was submitted. It wasn't, so that's fine. I wouldn't want to not, credit
Name
someone
you,
who did submit it. But mine is from Kotaku.com.
Of course.
It's written by Ian Walker. And Ian says, Dead by Daylight patch fixes Pyramid Head's ass. Okay.
Good.
Little subtitle, I don't think Silent Hill's quite ready for this jelly. The latest update to multiplayer horror game Dead by Daylight fixed a lot of bugs, but the most important change has to do with Pyramid Head and his luscious booty.
Bootylicious.
Booty luscious.
Bootylicious. Yeah.
Dead by Daylight introduced its Silent Hill crossover last summer, featuring Silent Hill 3 protagonist Heather Mason and enduring franchise icon Pyramid Head as playable characters. Almost immediately, Fans latched on to what appeared to be a sizable upgrade to the helmeted monster's butt, which in this day and age was enough to send social media into a thirsty spiral.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Is there a picture?
There's not actually. There's a picture at the top, which to me doesn't look like he's got any kind of big booty going on.
Yeah, there's no cake in that.
I mean, I'm not shaming him. I'm just saying it doesn't look.
He's not. Maybe he's been working out. He got one of those BBLs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When Pyramid Head was finally added to Dead by Daylight, however, players weren't impressed. Here's a quote. Where's the ass from the promotional shots? They asked. Demand for more bootylicious Pyramid Head got so loud that developer Behavior Interactive actually addressed the community's concerns, telling Polygon in June 2020 that it had made no changes to the killer's rear end. So
this picture looks like it's got a bit more cushion.
Oh
for the
yeah,
cushion.
okay, that's.
There's also this one where like he looks like he's dancing.
He does, but it's got to be that first one you saw.
The bootylicious.
Yeah. So easy for you to find on Google if you're watching or listening at home. Or, I mean...
I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, you can see.
Oh, that's his bum there.
That's his bum there if you're watching on YouTube.
If you I Googled Dead by Daylight Pyramid Head Butt, and that came up like the fourth picture down.
Make sure you've got Safe Search switched on for that one, because goodness knows.
Oh my gosh, actually look at this one. This one's a good one as well.
Oh,
We've got a side profile.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
A thirsty frenzy over here at TripleJump as well, apparently.
Yeah, I'm just glad that this table is so high. That's all. Although there were still ass truthers out there, so this is people saying, so sorry to refresh while you were Googling.
Sorry, yeah.
No, that's okay. That the developer said to Polygon in June 2020 that they hadn't touched it, as it were. They hadn't touched Pyramid Head's ass.
Right.
It's the same as always. So the article continues. Although there were still ass truthers out there, this seemed to placate fans for a while. That is, until yesterday's patch notes. Included among the long list of changes applied in the most recent update was a bug fix destined to set the Dead by Daylight player base on fire. Quote, fixed an issue that caused the executioner's rear to be too flat.
Imagine that, like, getting that memo in the morning, like, Pyramid Head's ass needs to be bigger.
Yeah.
Work on that today, please. Next update, important. And they're like, okay. Just do some coding to make the booty bigger.
What did you do today at work, honey?
Oh, well, I had a really hard day for a lot of reasons, but one main one was because I had to make Pyramid Head's ass more voluptuous.
Less flat.
We
have had a lot of complaints.
More juicy on the booty, because apparently the fans are thirsty and they wanted that nice Pyramid Head butt. Yeah.
Of all the butts you could want in gaming, it's the one that's like probably got blood all over it.
Yeah.
Not his blood.
Probably
either.
A bit stinky as well.
Yeah, probably is. The executioner, for those out of the loop, is Dead by Daylight's name for Pyramid Head. This single line in the patch notes caught many off guard. Were the developers finally admitting that something happened to Pyramid Head's butt? Well, yes and no. There's a quote here. I stand by my statement. Pyramid Head's behind was never nerfed. Behavior Interactive's Marie-Claude Bernard told Kotaku via email.
The concept of nerfing an ass.
Nerf.
Like,
Nerf
the ass
this
is
ass.
too big. It needs nerfing.
Ass is OP. That said, we recently found a bug on the corrupted outfit. The cloth covering the executioner had clipping issues, which made his butt, well, completely flat. We fixed it, and it will be pushed live in our next update on Tuesday. So there you have it. In certain situations, Pyramid Head's butt may have appeared to be less juicy than intended. Of course, Behavior Interactive also knows that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. An entry into the known issues section of the patch notes reads, the executioner's rear may still be too flat, a tacit acknowledgement of the reality that you're never going to please everyone. In any case, here's hoping this bug fix is enough to finally put this ass to bed. Wow, what a journey.
I think we'd all like to take that ass to bed. That would have been a good ending.
It would have.
Kotaku.
Yeah.
Ian needs to learn more from Luke, and then,
perhaps
maybe he'll be the next Luke Plunkett.
Maybe he'll be trending on Twitter. Yeah, apparently Luke Plunkett's leaving. I don't know. I don't have a primary source for this, but I've heard
I
it.
saw it on the comments of last week's podcast, and then I saw it on Twitter, but I couldn't find the tweet that I'd found that said that he was leaving
Luke,
Kotaku.
Don't go. Where are we going to get our...
Don't go. Someone was from? Like, oh, hopefully he joins TripleJump. He lives in Australia, guys. He's
Luke,
Australia.
If you want a job just like gathering news,
just
for
come over.
The podcast,
yeah,
just get in touch.
Probably make absolute bank over at Kotaku, but we can pay you in cuddles and love.
Yeah.
And that's what's important, isn't it?
It is.
I have some news also.
Give me some weird news, Ashton.
I actually found this when I was on the train yesterday. Well, I found the thing that we're talking about and I downloaded it, and I'll tell you what about it.
You downloaded it?
Yeah.
What is this?
This article comes from Tora Northman at High Snobiety.
Where? Oh, that's the name of the...
High Snobiety.
Right, I thought you meant at. That was like their Twitter handle.
No, that's the website.
Oh, okay.
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton?
Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton's new game is better than Fortnite, is the headline. Louis Vuitton is currently celebrating 200 years. And this is Louis Vuitton as in the fashion brand with the red bottom Louis Vuitton shoes. It's currently celebrating 200 years and is paying homage to its founder through a handful of new initiatives. Initiatives. That's the word. I couldn't remember how to say that word. Initiatives, including a collection of Louis Vuitton trunks, as well as an adventure-based game that we really need to talk about. Dubbed Louis the Game, the phone app follows our protagonist Vivian through 6 different worlds, where she needs to collect 200 candles to commemorate the birthday of Louis Vuitton.
Okay.
But this game isn't like most fashion games. It is major, complex, and it is addictive. I have downloaded this game. I downloaded it while I was on the train yesterday because I was like, oh, so I have to download this. I have to try it out. It is not major, it is not complex, and it is not addictive.
Right.
I don't know if this person's just never played a video game before. It's just you run around and you collect candles and you occasionally have to jump and do a puzzle, basically.
Are you dressed in Louis Vuitton?
No, you look like this.
Oh, what on earth?
Yeah, that's the Louis Vuitton logo.
Yeah.
But mine's just as a spaceman on my phone because there's the different like skins. And
it's
stuff
like a
on
really, really off-brand sack boy.
Oh, that's what mine looks like. Spaceman.
Oh, okay. Spaceman.
Yeah, like a little it's off-brand sack boy. Or I should say high fashion sack boy.
High fashion sack. Yeah. What am I talking about?
Most of us have spent the past 10 years with a phone glued to our hand, initially playing games like Temple Run, Subway Surfers, Angry Birds, and so on. But since social media really blew up, there hasn't been a phone game to capture our attention in the same way. Clearly never played Project Makeover.
But now,
or at least not for me. Oh, this is just Tora's opinion. She's never played a mobile game that she's enjoyed.
Right.
When Louis Vuitton revealed its new venture, most of us probably thought it would be a short and easy activity that only took minutes to complete, but the label has built an entire world and a story to explore that is certainly worth exploring. Once you enter Louis the Game, you embark on the adventure that is reminiscent of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's not!
I don't want to
It's not like this. It's just a really low quality adventure game. It ran like absolute crap on my phone. It did not run well. Legend of Zelda, Tora.
The last thing I want to do, right? I don't want to venture anywhere near gatekeeping territory, right? But it sounds to me like Tora maybe doesn't play that many games. And she played Flappy Bird. And then she heard that there was this Louis Vuitton game coming out, or maybe she was told like we need to do an article about this.
To play it.
And she thinks it's really
she looked
good.
Up some games,
but maybe doesn't have like a lot of points of reference as to like
what is
what it is and isn't, you know. And if she wants to play the game, she can play it. That's fine. That's fine. But sorry, continue. So
she says, it's reminiscent of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and you're able to run around, jump, and collect items along the way.
Whoa.
You're also able to customize your character with different Louis Vuitton monogram prints and colorways, and you're able to learn about LV's history throughout by collecting postcards and other memorabilia. My character is currently sporting the Palm Springs mini backpack, and her flower head features petals in brown, orange, and black colors inspired by Louis Vuitton prints. Most notably, though, there are the 30 embedded NFTs you can find throughout the game, designed by artist Beeple. Each NFT is a collectible that can only be found through playing the game and cannot be sold. Luxury brands are beginning to explore the world of cryptocurrency, with Burberry launching its first NFT and brands like Balenciaga and Gucci also exploring the tech world through games and other virtual activations.
Right.
Having spent the past 24 hours collecting candles in Louis the Game,
non-stop.
This poor woman has had to
coffee.
play this game for 24 hours. No wonder she's confused.
God.
It is obvious that Louis Vuitton is venturing way beyond fashion, is paying homage to its founder by depicting his journey to building the now global luxury fashion house. That's a long sentence. The game is also a way for LV to tap into the younger audience, the Gen Z consumers that are hard to impress, by creating a challenge that everyone can be part of without having to purchase anything. It is a way to be part of the Louis Vuitton universe, as well as the perfect opportunity for the brand to introduce itself to new consumers.
The Louis Vuitton universe.
Yeah, the LVCU.
Yeah.
Here's a little tip to Louis Vuitton. If you want Gen Z to buy your product, make them less expensive. We've not got any money. We're poor. If you're looking to play Louis the Game, it can be downloaded on Apple, Android, and Google devices. You can also join in the celebration on the website. Do you want to have a look at this game?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I don't think we've ever done this before on a podcast, that we've actually got the app downloaded.
Well, I saw it on Twitter and I was like,
Unreal Engine?
Yes, an Unreal Engine game. Breath of the Wilds, obviously. if you didn't like Breath of the Wild, you might not like this game.
Louis the Game.
There's a time trial mode as well.
Oh, fantastic.
But it's like, obviously it's on a phone, so it's all like, hello?
It's official. The game is broken.
Let me open it. Okay, it's done it now. Yeah, you just kind of wander around and... Okay, it was crashed.
Louis the Game isn't responding. Close app.
Close app. But yeah, it's fine. I played like the first level and it was running like trash, so I turned it off. I got an achievement. It's making me log into my phone now.
Okay.
Louis the Game. I want to show the spaceman. Come on. It doesn't work.
Fantastic.
It doesn't work.
Well, I think with that,
oh man,
that should be immediately deleted from your phone and never. I mean, if Ben Potter gets wind that you
it's
have
gonna absolutely raging.
got a Louis Vuitton app on your phone, he will be livid.
It's the only thing of Louis Vuitton I've ever even owned. Oh, it's working.
Oh, I see your spaceman.
Yeah, this is my spaceman. This is the Breath of the Wild's Eat Heart Out. Look how it does not work. And there's little guys running around.
Do you want to hold that up for the camera?
Can you see it?
Not really. It's probably not.
If I screen record, I'll send it to James and he could possibly put it in the podcast.
Maybe so.
Show
Yeah,
you.
that's a good idea. So
Louis Vuitton made a game.
Louis Vuitton made a game,
and it definitely exists. And
Well,
it's Breath of the Wild's.
hopefully be able to put a little snippet of it in the podcast. And if you're listening in audio form, go check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or just do a little Google, or maybe head to Ashton's social media where maybe she'll
Maybe I'll post another video of me playing the
a
game.
little picture of your not snowman,
Maybe if
spaceman.
I like tweet them, maybe they'll send me like
some free Louis Vuitton
free
stuff.
Louis Vuitton stuff.
Maybe.
I highly doubt it.
Me too.
Anyway, next question.
It's time for question 3. This is from Harold Bob at Hawking. That's a name I've not seen in a little while. But maybe you're there and I'm not paying attention. But I hope you're doing well, Harold Bob at Hawking. Hello, people off of the internet. I'm wondering if you've ever felt painfully under-rewarded by a game. I myself have completed everything in Crash 4 except for 5 of the time trials, and the difficulty jump feels like an insult, especially considering I'm clearly very good at the game itself. I mean, Harold Bob at Hawking, I think you might be the only person on the planet who has completed most of Crash 4, because that game is ridiculous. And although, as I said earlier in the podcast, I'm not a platinum hunter, I incidentally just got all the platinums in the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and I think at least one of the n.sane trilogy games as well, just because I like those games so much. And as I was playing through Crash 4, I got like halfway through the game and I was thinking, I wonder if I'll end up like just sort of platinuming this just because, because I want to just do everything. No, absolutely not. I've only done like 2 time trials in that game, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's way harder than the older games, because in the time trials, originally in like the old Crash games, some of the boxes turn into like numbered boxes. So if you spin them,
you can get more time.
Yeah, like pauses the clock. But in Crash 4, you still do that. But also, a couple of them just turn into like TNTs when they didn't used to be TNTs. So it actually makes it harder. I believe that's right. It's been a while since I tried to do a time trial on that game, but I'm reasonably sure that's accurate. But anyway, that's just a little rant I had there. Wow. Don't mention Crash 4 to me. But the one that everyone will know about already from me is the ending, both the regular ending and the special 100 and whatever % ending to Haven Call of the King, which is the third person kind of sci-fi RPG. Well, it's not really an RPG, but action adventure game that I played on stream. Ashton, you might not be aware of it, but it's you play as this boy. It's a PS2 game, and you like save your friend, and there's like a baddie and stuff. Sounds great. I've really explained it very well.
Yeah, sounds like every game.
Doesn't it? Every game. And the way the game ends, for your benefit and anyone who hasn't heard me talk about this, is that you like go down and confront the baddie, and you're trying to save the king the galaxy so that he can like go and rule over everyone and it can all be happy. He's like a King Arthur kind of figure. And you have this quick time event fight with the big evil bad guy. And when you complete that, it runs this cutscene for the end of the game. And in that cutscene, he overpowers you. You get chained to a rock, and the king gets chained to a rock next to you, and he's already dead.
Right.
And then the camera just pans out to the planet in space, and then the credits roll, and that's it. And the guy, the villain, even says to you, I think it's even first-person perspective. He looks down the lens and says, "All that effort for nothing," and that's it. And you're like, "Oh, right, okay." And then I then found out that if you do a load of really hard stuff, like stupidly difficult stuff, there's like a special post-credits thing that you can get. So it's like, that'll be when we see what happens. The true ending. No, it's not. All it does is like show it like it's like orbiting around this like city on a planet that you've not yet visited, and it says this is the golden city of Aureus. It might feature in our next game. Email us at someone at travelerstales.com to suggest what should happen in our next game. And that was it. Like they were hoping it would be a trilogy and everyone would be really hyped for the second one to find out how he got off the rock. But it didn't happen.
No one ever...
No, well, it didn't make enough money, so it got cancelled.
Staying on that rock forever.
So he's still there. He's still there to this day.
Still on that rock.
So that... I mean, the audience have heard me moan about that before, but that absolutely drove me to almost madness. But another game I've mentioned before, but not in this context, I don't think, is Tekken 6. I'm a big Tekken fan, but Tekken 6 really like turned me off for a little while. Partly because the boss was so stupidly difficult, but as much as anything else, because when you launch the game, all of the characters are unlocked already. And for me, the whole reason I used to do arcade runs of Tekken with like different characters is to unlock a new fighter.
Right.
And it's really exciting when you've like completed a run again and you're like, oh, I'm going to quickly go to the character selection menu, see who I've got. Oh, look, it's that person that I recognize. Or, oh, it's not. It's like a new character. That was like always the biggest part of Tekken for me, even replaying old Tekken games. And, you know, I already know all those characters because I've 100%ed them before. But seeing like, oh, now I've unlocked that guy who I really like, you know, that was always a really great thing. You launch Tekken 6 for the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe this is true. They're all there already, and it's like, what?
What's the point?
What's the point? Like, I guess I can unlock their, you know, everyone has a little story ending and stuff, but like, nah, like for me, the dopamine rush is like, who have I unlocked? You know, how exciting. So that was a big letdown for me. What about you? What about unrewarding games?
I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. A Plague's Tale.
Oh yeah,
is like I really enjoyed it, and then I didn't enjoy it anymore. And I was like, the ending of it is just so rubbish. It makes you like you don't want to play it anymore. Games that I think that possibly. What bothers me about when I feel under-rewarded is when games like don't respect how much time that I have to put into them. Alien Isolation is a really, really good game. It's just so long and it's so unnecessarily long. Like it feels like it finishes like 3 times until it actually finishes.
Like Return of the King.
Yeah, basically. Like every time you think, oh, well, we've killed the alien, a new one appears or a different one, or the same one is just back, and it's like, okay, we're still going. And I remember just being like, this game just needs to end. Like I really enjoyed it, but it's like, I don't care. Like I'm over it now.
Yeah,
the aliens have full permission to take over the spaceship at this point.
I don't
care. Also, a game that I really, really was interested in playing, and there's 2 of them, is the Ori games, the Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and the second one I can't remember what the name of that is called. And I really wanted to play that. So I played
the Blind Forest, the something forest.
Something like that. Yeah. I really wanted to play that game, so I spent like I streamed it and I played it for like a couple of hours, and it starts off relatively easy and suddenly gets really hard, like I doesn't say dick rippingly hard.
Whoa. Oh my god.
I was trying to think of another term, but I couldn't. And I was like, I'm not having fun. I'm just dying over and over again. It just looks nice when it's happening. And it's just like, I couldn't get past a certain area because it was just like impossibly trying to jump off things without getting murdered, but inevitably ending up dead every time anyway.
Yeah.
Also, a game that really, really bothers me because I really enjoy it when I'm playing it, but sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to play this for another couple of months. Destiny 2.
Oh, yeah.
I really like playing Destiny 2, but I find that sometimes it just doesn't care if you're playing it or not. Something will happen. Like, when you start, obviously you have to play like the first campaign mission, but because of how long the game's been active, like there's a lot that you can do after you've finished that mission, and it's quite hard to kind of find your feet.
Mm-hmm.
But recently they did like a live event. I don't know if you knew about this, where they tried out to do a live event so that everyone was like meant to be on the tower at a certain time on a certain day, and an event would happen.
Right.
The event took about an hour and a half, and all it was at first was just like things falling from the sky, but it was so slow, and we sat there for ages being like, we know as soon as we leave something's going to happen. So we just sat there in the tower just watching this happen, and it took so long, and there were so many tweets being like, is it happening? Is it happening? And this one guy who's like big in the community was like, it is happening, it's just slow. And we were like, good. So it took ages for it basically just to like crash, and something exploded, and it was basically the end of the season. And then they did this thing where they, to make room for the new stuff they were adding in, they were getting rid of 3 planets that you could visit.
Okay.
But rather than doing that in like a big dramatic cutscene, they just got rid of them.
Right.
And all that was like a bit of text from like the character that was on this. Because obviously on each planet there's like a character that you can go to get like the bounties and story missions and stuff, and they just like was a bit of text about how they'd all basically died because the planets had just gone, and we were like,
Poochie died on his way back to his home planet.
yeah and it was like, oh, okay, good, so we've not played it for a week and we've missed the whole fact that these planets have just gone now. And that kind of feels a bit like a kick in the teeth. Of like, you don't even get like a story mission to like show it happening.
Yeah.
You just get like a bit of text.
Oh, man.
Because you didn't play at this specific time where something was happening, or you didn't play during the week of the event, so therefore you never get to see what happens. So yeah.
Man, that sucks, yeah.
Just a little ranty bit there from us. So that was games that annoy us, and why they annoyed us.
In various ways.
Yeah.
When you talk of Destiny, that reminds me actually of probably an answer that a lot of people might give for this question, which would be the ending or lack of ending to Halo 2, which is, I don't know if you're aware of that ending. You have done all this, dramatic stuff and things are happening, and then the aliens arrive at Earth and they're going to attack the Earth, and the Master Chief is like on the radio with like the field marshal, whoever the head of the army is, the guy. And the guy says to him, Master Chief, do you mind telling me what the hell you're doing on that ship or something? And the chief says, sir, finishing this fight. And you're like, final level, here we go. And then the credits run and that's it. You think he's going to like go down there and like destroy everyone.
Smash
and like, I'm going to finish the fight. But no, like Halo 3, the whole tagline for that game was finish the fight. So they were trying to like set you up, but it really feels like it's just coming to its climax, but then it ends. Yeah. So I guess it's more than anything else, it's probably just a pacing issue. Like they should have made it more obvious that this is the last level, by the way, just so you know, we're doing the last level here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another one I think that probably a lot of people were a bit, underwhelmed by.
Well, it's time for that thing we do every week. It's huge. It's massive. It's the big discussion.
Oh, it's a big discussion.
It's big discussion time. It's time for the big discussion. And this week's big discussion comes from Jono Charles Davey. We know that name. You've been here before, my friend. Hello, Ashton and Peter, and not Ben, apparently. So recently I decided I really needed to put down Streets of Rage 4 for a bit and only play Crash Bandicoot n.sane Trilogy sparingly, as I find video games can impact my mood quite negatively depending on stress. I was looking for games to buy on Steam and decided to look through the discovery queue, only to find completely unrelated indie titles and uncensored 3D dating simulators. Googling games similar to ones I already like, such as Spyro Reignited, yielded much better results. So, how do you two prefer seeking for new video games to play? Do you agree that Steam discovery queue sucks? And can Ashton say, oh yeah, here we go, question time?
She Just did.
Just did it.
There you go.
Oh yeah, here we go. Question time. So, Steam Discovery Queue and finding games. How do? What think?
I mean, I use Steam. It's as well we got this question today because B Poots is not a big PC gamer. I mean, I'm not either, but I do occasionally play stuff on Steam. I've not really used the Discovery queue that much, partly because I've heard that it's trash and that you just get recommended absolutely rubbish. But in fact, James Jenkins gets sent a copy of the stream running order, the podcast running order, before we go and record it, just so he can get prepped and stuff with the edit. And I heard him just sort of say to himself under his breath when I sent that over, he was like, "Oh yeah, Steam Discovery queue is kind of rubbish, isn't it?" Like, just he saw the question and was like, "Yeah." So I think he would also agree. But broadly speaking, just in terms of how I would get recommended new games, I mean, things have changed a lot. Like from maybe 10-15 years ago, I used to play demo discs, and that was always a big thing. Like, I played a little snippet of that game, it looks really good, I'll buy the full version. I was never subscribed to a gaming magazine, but occasionally, if I was like in a shop with my parents and they said like, "Oh yeah, you can get a magazine," or if I was going on like a plane or something, that would be what I would typically buy. And I used to find those really interesting. I also used to just kind of browse in a shop, in a physical game store, just see what's on the shelf, particularly with PC games as well. Like, I used to go into Game and go to the PC section because there was just so much variety there. They had like years and years worth of decent PC physical games. And I just don't do that anymore. I don't buy physical games very often. And even if I did, we're fortunate that we get a lot of this stuff through the company. So typically, if we need a game buying, I'll just speak to Adam and say, "We need to cover this game. Please can we have a copy?" And he'll just, get it sorted. So I'm not going down to my local game outlet anymore and just seeing stuff on the shelves. So nowadays it's more just a case of seeing trailers at E3 and stuff like that, and just on YouTube, and maybe as ads like pushed to me, and I guess chatting to friends as well, and just them saying, "This is what I've played. It's a lot of fun. I would recommend it." But yeah, things are a lot different. But do you use much Steam?
Yeah, I do. I do use it quite a lot at home specifically. Because I was curious about what was in the Discovery queue. Before we were recording this, I went to have a look. And most of the games were just kind of like things I wasn't really interested in. There was one saucy game in there.
Oh, yeah.
That I quickly clicked through in case anyone looked over my shoulder at work and just saw this like boobies. And I was like, nothing. Yeah, I mean, I don't really use a Discovery queue. I like the Steam, like when you open Steam, that pop-up comes up and it's like a couple of games that are like, I don't know if it's the featured games or like highlight stuff. Yeah, that's quite good. I found a couple of games from there. I don't mind indie titles so much when they like pop up on my Discovery queue. Sometimes they kind of look interesting and they're up my alley, but most of the time they're not. But they might be someone's thing that they like to do. I'm a bit of a sucker for like marketing. Like, I'm really easily marketed to,
right?
Because things will get stuck in my brain. I'm like, I need to find that. Like right now, Deathloop has been marketed to me loads on like YouTube and stuff, so much that I've got the Deathloop song stuck in my head that they've got on like all the trailers and stuff. But for finding new games, I see what like people are playing on Twitch, or my friends are playing, like you were saying, word of mouth kind of thing. But I quite like looking on things like PlayStation Plus is obviously good every month. Gives us a couple of games to play that kind of I probably wouldn't pick up normally. I haven't picked up any of the ones from this month, I don't think. But last month I played Plague Tale, and I wouldn't have played that if it hadn't gone on PlayStation Plus. But Xbox Game Pass is quite good for finding games to play as well. There's so many games on Xbox Game Pass, and you haven't got to pay for it outside of like your subscription. And there's like good suggested games that you pick. There's also like a thing on there where you can ask it to pick you a game, and it will randomly shuffle through the games and be like, would you like to play this game? And if you don't want to play it, just reshuffle it again, which is quite good. I think that's one of the best things about Game Pass is it's quite easy to navigate in terms of like what kind of game you want to play. If you're in the mood for like an action adventure game, there's not, unlike Steam, thousands and thousands and thousands of games.
That's an issue with Steam, is there's that many.
It can feel really overwhelming. But yeah, I think most of the time I just look to see like what's on the home screen of Xbox, or like I find now if I've been talking about a game on a list when I'm recording it where I don't know the game, I'm intrigued by it, and if it looks like something I will play, I'll play that. But that's obviously quite niche because not everyone does this job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that a lot of the time it's just seeing what other people are playing and hearing their feedback. There is a lot of companies are starting to do more like alpha and beta testing on, like, people can get alpha copies of games and stuff, which is quite interesting because it's kind of like a demo really. Cause you've got to pay
true.
For it. I know that a lot of people had the Back for Blood beta or alpha that they released the last couple of weeks that finished I think 2 days ago. And I had, my friend was like, I had got it and here's my detailed feedback of what the game was like.
Right.
And he said it's like Left 4 Dead but with less of personality, apparently, is what he thought about it. Which I think is a good thing because it is a kind of like a demo disc, if not quite.
Well, like Valheim's really popular and that's still technically work in progress.
Yeah,
and it's not like
still
officially.
Beta,
And
wow.
I remember Minecraft being, I started playing Minecraft when that was still just being developed. And, you know, that's another one where because of that and it being released at that stage, you know, loads of people playing it on YouTube and look at it now, you know, maybe it still would have been just as successful if they just released it as a finished product, but who's to say?
Yeah, and I quite like going to places like CEX and seeing what games they've got kind of about. I mean, nowadays, most of the games at CEX aren't that much cheaper than if you just get them like fresh. My partner likes to go on eBay and buy random games, so those sometimes turn up and I'm like, oh, I guess I'll try this, I guess.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, a new Switch game appeared, and I'm like, I think this week Ni no Kuni arrived.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, I have no interest in playing this game, but I won it on eBay. And I was like, good, I guess we have it now.
Good financial decisions.
Brilliant. Thanks.
I won that, so I'm that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares? I won it. I'm not going to play it. But
but we've got
victory.
it. So if you want to play it, we have it.
Like it.
But yeah, I think a lot of the time it's just I kind of just totter about on all of this platforms until I find something that I want to play, or then I just play the same thing I've been playing before. It's quite difficult.
It did make me wonder. I was debating whether to even go into this as part of the question because I can't confirm or deny that this is how it works, but I think it's interesting that something like Netflix, where you're already paying for your subscription, I find that is okay at like recommending stuff to me. I mean, I think like I've got quite niche interests, so they'll recommend stuff to me that I can see where they got it from. Like you like this, so you might like this, and you know I might not actually like it, but I can understand the reasoning. And you know, the thing is, you're paying just a flat fee for your Netflix, so they don't have to worry about pushing certain things to you because they're not going to benefit more or less financially as long as you're still happy with the service broadly. That you know it doesn't matter to them. Whereas with Steam, you know, I do wonder whether like the price of the actual item and the price of the game factors into how they recommend these things to you.
Yeah,
are they pushing things to you that they think like we could make some money on that either because it's expensive and you might buy it, or maybe it's like a bit cheaper and so you'll be more likely to buy it. And like if that factors into it, that's a little bit more, I don't want to say sinister, it's not sinister, but it's less like they're not just basing these recommendations on whether or not you will like it. Whereas something like Game Pass, again, they don't mind whether you play that game or that game as long as you just keep having Game Pass.
Yeah.
So that would be in their interest again to actually recommend something to you that you're really going to like, not just something that you might like and you might buy and then we'll make some money on it. So like we'll push that and hopefully they'll go for it. You know? So I do wonder whether that's
a good point actually.
Like goes into these recommendations as well, like just a more economical or, you know, just a money related reason for.
Yeah. I think Steam definitely doesn't have the same kind of aspect of like, we know that you like this game and this game, so we think you'd like this game. Because I mean, there is like sometimes like related things on some of the pages, but most of the time there isn't. It's normally just like the game page itself. But I think Steam specifically would benefit from that because like there is just so many games on Steam.
Yeah.
And if you don't know specifically what you're looking for, it can be really hard to find. Like over Halloween last year, I was looking for like some scary games to play, and I just went on the horror section, and it was just like lists and lists of really crappy, scary games that were just badly made to find like the occasional good one.
My first Unity project.
Yeah. It's like scary lady in the hallway, and it's like, oh well, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But like, I think Steam would benefit from. I mean, they have like the For You section, but I don't ever really see anything on there that is massively interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's just like, here's a bunch of games. Do you want to play any of them? Nope. Okay.
Yeah.
See
you
you
have
later.
to wonder exactly what affects that recommendation, algorithm or whatever you want to call it. So, but as I say, we can't say for sure whether or not that they factor in.
Hey, is it a cash grab?
Yeah.
Ooh, probably.
But maybe they do.
But maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. So there we go. Let us know, of course, in the comments below.
Where do you find your games?
Or on social media where you find your games, And anything else we've discussed today, if you want to have a little chit-chat about that, do get in touch with us. There's various ways you can get in touch with us, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this bit.
And you've highlighted an extra bit for me, which is exciting.
I have. We need to share Ben's bit, you see.
Yeah,
so
that's true. I forgot.
We're both doing our usuals.
We should just not say Ben's bit and then just get him to call us and be like, can you just say all your bit?
Yeah, we could do, actually. Phone
Ben
up.
Potter. I know you're on holiday.
Phone Auntie Trivago's landline.
Trivago.
You can see all of our content at youtube.com and twitch.tv /Team TripleJump. That's where we do our videos and our live streams. When we are streaming, we're modded by Lord Rotovich, Trowling Badger, and Mr. Black, who I love dearly. You can use your free Twitch sub if you've got Amazon Prime. That's just one of the benefits that you get. It's no extra cost to you. You can use that Twitch sub on us. And we will benefit from it as though it's a regular old Twitch sub. We'll financially benefit.
And Jeffrey Bezos loses money.
Jeffrey Bezos probably effectively loses money in a way, I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
Possibly.
So it's
I think
doing.
they still own Twitch. So I guess maybe they just lose some money.
Yeah, I mean, they must lose some money if, like, ordinarily
some money goes to us.
If you'd be paying for it with actual cash, and then you're not paying for it with actual cash by using the Amazon Prime. Surely they don't get as much money. So do it, is what I'm saying, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Twitter.com and Facebook.com /Team TripleJump are where we are on social media. Twitter is predominantly kind of video and live stream announcements, things like that. Facebook is a lovely place where our community manager, Fraser, is sharing kind of old clips from the YouTube channel's history, but also little discussion-y things as well that you can get involved in.
And there was a live stream this week on Facebook.
And there was a Facebook Live this week where I sat and chatted about, I can't even remember anymore. Loads of things. It's not even gaming related, Normally when we're live, either on Twitch or YouTube, or when we're here talking to you, answering your questions, it's all gaming related. But over on Facebook, we're just having a little casual
You
chit-chat.
should definitely check us out on Facebook. We are trying to get to 10,000 likes.
We are. Follows, it's called now. But
follows.
Likes, follows.
So check us out on Facebook.
Yeah, please do follow us on Facebook if you can. And also, there's now a What We Playin post going out there where James Jenkins this week was talking about what he's playing. So they'll be going out regularly as well. So Fraser's doing a great job over there.
He is, yeah.
He looks after Twitter as well.
Of course, the Twitch stream highlight of the week as well.
Twitch stream highlight of the week is another one. He's just doing all the best things, Fraser.
Doing that marketing.
He's a good boy /man. Finally, from me, is patreon.com /Team TripleJump. It's where you can access all of our many Patreon tiers. Of course, at a bare minimum, you'll be able to ask questions on this here podcast.
Yeah.
But there's other things too. Early worst games ever, exclusive merch,
Discord
personalized
chats.
Video messages from us. What Discord channel as well. Yeah. All those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have a website. And I said it wrong last week, so I'm going to try really hard to make sure that I'm saying it correctly and pronouncing it correctly. It is triplejut.mup.
There it is.
That's triplejut.mp. If you want to go to Discord, it's triplejut.mup /Discord. Thanks to our mods, Joe, Jack, and Hollow Eyes. If you want to listen to the podcast or find where you can find it, if you're watching it on YouTube and want to listen to it in your car, perchance, you can go to triplejut.mup /podcast. All of our live stream VODs, if you missed any of the live streams, we're doing 5 whole live streams a week. Well, this week only 4 because Ben's not here.
Yeah.
But still 5 normally a week. All of our live stream VODs are at triplejet.mup/VODs. And then if you want to buy some sick merch, some sick TripleJump merch.
Not this.
But
other stuff like this with this logo on.
A new merch drop is coming at some point. So you want to make
soon.
sure you're following TripleJump Shop on Twitter. And you can head over to triplejumpshop.com to see all of the merchies that you can purchase. Also, if you want to follow us on the social medias, our personal accounts, we are at Peter Austin and at Scrambled Ashton on Instagram and Twitter. And though he's not currently here, you can follow Ben Potter at @confused_dude, but he's just on Twitter. He doesn't have an Instagram because he's an old man.
He is. I mean, I've not posted on mine for about 6 months, but I'm not.
No,
not
I
as
posted
old.
on mine like a couple of weeks ago, and now I will not post again on it for a couple months, and then possibly will post again very soon. But...
Most of mine are just from when I'm not at work, like when I go away somewhere on holiday, and just post landscapes of like sheep and stuff.
Yeah.
But so check
Peter
me out for
Austin
that.
sheep Instagram account. Yeah.
It's all just sheep. We have content that goes out on YouTube all the time. We do lists every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and soon there will be an extra day as well. I think it's Monday, right, that you're going to be doing your lists. I think it is. Yeah, I believe so. So that will be happening in time when Ashton has recorded a load of stuff and it's all been edited and scheduled. But keep an eye out for that. At the moment, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The streams are now every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Holy moly, that's a lot of streams.
Holy moly. Thursday for the joint Blaze It streams, and the other days for individual streams from all of us, including James Jenkins. And of course, me and Ashton and Ben Potter. Worst Games Ever is fortnightly. It's available for patrons on the Friday of each fortnight, Sunday for everyone else. It's not a Worst Games Ever week
it's
this
next
week.
week's Worst Games Ever.
Next week, and we just had one as well, so go check that out.
Yeah, it's Transformers.
Yeah, Transformers. And
or
the
Converters,
podcast,
if you have.
Converters. Yeah, you got to watch it to get that joke.
Yeah.
The podcast is every Saturday, and we do shows and other little bits and bobs every other week, or there or thereabouts.
Yeah, we're getting back into the swing of things.
We are. Yeah, there's. I'll tell you actually. There's one coming out this week. I'll tell you that in a minute when I've said. Don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes or your platform of choice. It helps something to do
with algorithm.
With Alan Gore. And his funky dance moves.
His boogie moves.
Remember, TripleJump.gg is where you can go to buy all of your virtual currency, digital currency for your consoles of choice, and also Minecoin as well. You're going to buy it anyway. Shouldn't cost you any more, particularly if you're in the UK, or certainly if you're in the UK, and hopefully in other places in the world too, but we can't confirm. So buy it there instead and support us.
Yeah. What's coming out this week, Peter?
Well, I'm about to tell you, we do have some special shows coming every other...
Oh, baby.
Yeah, every other week. We've got a rules boss with that person there, with Ashton Matthews herself.
And me?
Yeah, she did her own rules boss. It was actually recorded a while ago, but it's just taken...
my first
so busy.
week. It was recorded.
Yeah, it was. That was when I threw the spider on you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just before we recorded rules boss. You threw a cushion at me. No, it wasn't. It was on Ruse Boss, the kangaroo. Peter said, "Put this behind you." Threw it at me.
And
as
just
it,
a little
as
thing
it threw,
came off.
something fell on my lap. I was like, "Oh, something's fallen on my lap. Wonder what it is." Move my leg. Spider crawled at me, and I just kind of like. I don't think I screamed. I just panicked slightly and smacked it away.
Well, yeah, you went, "Oh, there's a spider," which is fair enough. Like I did not know.
I was like cabled up still, so I couldn't go very
Yeah,
far.
that's right. You're all hooked in. It's actually part of the hazing process.
Yeah,
You throw a spider at everyone.
Yeah.
So that's going out, I believe, on Sunday. We've also got a What It Means to Me going out as well this week. It's from Keyblade Sarah.
I wonder what game it'll be.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's very exciting. Check that out. And as we said as well, we went live on Facebook this week, so you should be able to go and watch that as a VOD, and perhaps there'll be another one next week. We've not planned one, but I don't see any reason. I don't see any reason why we why we wouldn't just do a weekly one at this point.
Ben's not here, and we have literally spent this week just burning the channel down. We're trashing the podcast studio at this point.
I've just realised that those two. So we have lights that are supposed to be stuck to the wall facing upwards.
Oh, they're facing the ground.
Those two have been on the floor the whole time. It looks like suitably orange, so we didn't even notice. But this one just fell over as well.
Just fell off the wall, yeah.
Yeah, I must say, I watched Adam Pacitti stick those to the wall, and I thought, they're not staying there. They'll be down within...
On this like, textured...
Yeah, it's kind of squishy, foamy.
What the heck?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a wall, and I've just touched it, and it's like...
No, it's almost like polystyrene.
Ew!
Yeah.
I want to rip it off. Like every
It's
part of me
tempting,
is like,
isn't it?
just grab it.
My grandparents we're still podcasting seemingly. My grandparents in their spare room had textured wallpaper it was like bumpy, a bit like bubble wrap.
Not bumpy.
But yeah, not bumpis. It was like a cloud kind of texture. And I used to lie awake at night just like pressing all the bubbles down, which must have ruined their wall. But, I was only like...
Why is this bit of wall so flat? What's going on? What was this week's sponsor, Peter Austin?
Hotel?
Trivago.
Auntie Trivago.
Auntie Trivago.
It's not video game related unless
just where Ben's off at Auntie Trivago's house.
Ben Potter is video game related, so that's why it's video
proxy,
game related. Yeah. So thank you for listening, everyone. Hopefully you've enjoyed it well enough without the very professional, long experience of Ben Potter, who's a podcasting maestro and has been doing it for much longer than we have. But I mean, I've been doing it for years now. I have no excuse.
I've been doing it for 1 month.
Yeah. So hopefully it was fun enough. Tell Ben that we did a great job. Yeah.
You could just let him know. You can at him if you want on Twitter and be like, did you know they actually did a really good job?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't trash the studio.
No.
We didn't say any... I said the word dick. I don't know if... Never mind.
That's probably okay.
It's probably fine.
I mean, he's right here.
Yeah, my Chinko.
Yeah, there he is. Thanks for listening, everyone, and watching, if you're watching on YouTube. And check out the podcast next week with Ben Potter and all three of us, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, don't know where you'll be. But if not, we'll phone you in.
I don't know where I'll be.
Literally.
Probably be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
All right. Love you.
Yeah. Love you. Well, I'm not ready for that commitment yet, but Ashton loves you.
I do.
Okay.
I love each and every one of you.
Ah, that's nice. Well, we'll see you later then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.